Personal introduction. Can you tell me a little about yourself?
I am a careful worker with 2 years in customer service.
How would you describe your background?
My background is in sales, office tasks, and daily contact with clients.
What is the main thing I should know about you?
I stay calm, listen well, and finish my tasks on time.
Why did you choose this career path?
I chose it because I enjoy helping people solve practical problems.
What kind of work do you enjoy most?
I enjoy busy work where I can organize information and support a team.
What are you looking for in your next job?
I am looking for a stable role where I can learn and grow.
How do you start a normal workday?
I check my calendar, read messages, and write a short task list.
What makes you a reliable employee?
I arrive early, follow instructions, and report problems quickly.
Can you share one personal quality you bring to work?
I bring patience, especially when a customer is confused or upset.
What is your current job situation?
I am working part-time while I look for a full-time position.
What type of workplace helps you do your best?
A clean, respectful workplace with clear goals helps me do my best.
How do you explain your work style?
My work style is organized, friendly, and focused on results.
What is one goal for your career this year?
My goal is to improve my English and lead small projects.
What do you do before an important meeting?
I prepare notes, check the agenda, and test my computer.
How do you introduce yourself to a new team?
I say my role, my experience, and how I can help the group.
What motivates you at work?
I feel motivated when I see a clear result from my effort.
How do you stay professional with difficult people?
I speak politely, keep my voice calm, and focus on the facts.
What do you want to improve in your career?
I want to improve my presentation skills and speak more clearly.
What kind of tasks give you energy?
Tasks with people, schedules, and quick decisions give me energy.
How do you want a manager to see you?
I want a manager to see me as honest, prepared, and dependable.
Can you describe yourself in 3 words?
Yes, I am practical, calm, and curious.
What do you do when you enter a new office?
I greet people, find my desk, and ask where things are.
What is important to you in a job?
Clear communication, fair rules, and chances to learn are important to me.
How do you handle a first day at work?
I listen carefully, take notes, and learn the basic routines.
What should we remember after this interview?
You should remember that I am ready to work hard and learn fast.
Work experience. What was your last job?
My last job was as a shop assistant in a busy clothing store.
What were your main duties there?
I opened the store, helped customers, and counted the cash drawer.
How long did you work in your previous role?
I worked there for 18 months before the contract ended.
Can you describe a normal shift in that job?
I checked stock, answered questions, and cleaned the counter before closing.
What did you learn from your first job?
I learned to be punctual and to ask clear questions.
Have you ever trained a new coworker?
Yes, I showed a new coworker how to use the payment system.
What achievement are you proud of from a past role?
I helped reduce delivery mistakes by checking every order twice.
Did you work with customers in your last position?
Yes, I spoke with customers at the front desk every morning.
What machines or equipment did you use at work?
I used a barcode scanner, a printer, and a card reader.
How did you organize your daily work?
I used a checklist and marked urgent tasks with a red pen.
What was the busiest time in your former job?
The busiest time was Friday afternoon, when many orders arrived.
Have you worked under a tight deadline?
Yes, I prepared 20 invoices before the office closed.
What did your manager trust you to do?
My manager trusted me to close the register and lock the door.
Have you worked in a team before?
Yes, I worked with 6 people in a small warehouse.
What reports did you prepare in your old job?
I prepared a simple sales report at the end of each day.
How did you handle phone calls at work?
I answered the phone, wrote the message, and sent it to the right person.
What safety rules did you follow?
I wore gloves, kept boxes off the floor, and reported spills.
Have you used schedules in a previous workplace?
Yes, I checked the shift schedule on the wall every Monday.
What was a hard part of your last role?
The hard part was serving many people when the system was slow.
How did you communicate with your supervisor?
I sent short messages and gave a quick update after lunch.
What did you do when work was quiet?
I cleaned shelves, updated labels, and prepared bags for customers.
Did you ever cover another person's shift?
Yes, I covered a morning shift when a coworker was sick.
What did you do with customer complaints?
I listened, wrote the details, and called the supervisor when needed.
How did your past job prepare you for this role?
It gave me practice with deadlines, customers, and careful records.
What experience matches this vacancy best?
My experience with front desk visitors matches this vacancy best.
Skills and strengths. What is your strongest skill for this job?
My strongest skill is explaining information in a simple way.
How good are you with computers?
I can use email, spreadsheets, video calls, and online forms.
Can you work with numbers?
Yes, I can check totals, prices, and small monthly budgets.
How do you show attention to detail?
I compare names, dates, and numbers before I send a document.
Are you comfortable speaking with customers?
Yes, I can welcome them, answer questions, and explain next steps.
What communication skill do you use most?
I use active listening when someone describes a problem.
How fast do you learn new tasks?
I learn fast when I can watch once and then practice.
Can you manage more than one task?
Yes, I use a list and finish the most urgent item first.
What language skills can you offer?
I can speak Spanish fluently and use English with customers.
How do you keep documents organized?
I name files clearly and put them in the correct folder.
What do you do well under pressure?
Under pressure, I stay quiet, choose one task, and finish it.
Can you write clear emails?
Yes, I write short emails with a subject, details, and action points.
How do you use planning skills?
I put deadlines on a calendar and prepare materials early.
What is one technical skill you have?
I can create simple charts in a spreadsheet.
How do you check your own work?
I read it again, test links, and ask someone to review it.
Are you good at following procedures?
Yes, I follow each step and mark it when it is complete.
How do you help a team stay organized?
I share notes, Update the task board and remind people of dates.
What strength helps you with clients?
My patience helps me repeat instructions without sounding annoyed.
Can you make decisions without waiting too long?
Yes, for routine problems, I choose a safe solution quickly.
How do you show creativity at work?
I design simple signs and make instructions easier to read.
What skill did you improve recently?
I improved my typing speed by practicing 10 minutes every day.
How do you deal with written instructions?
I read them twice and highlight the steps I must follow.
Can you speak in front of a small group?
Yes, I can present a short update with 3 clear points.
What practical skill do people ask you for?
People often ask me to organize shared files and folders.
Which strength will help you succeed here?
My ability to stay organized will help me succeed here.
Weaknesses and learning. What is one weakness you are working on?
I sometimes speak too softly, so I practice clear voice exercises.
How do you handle mistakes at work?
I admit the mistake, correct it, and write down what I learned.
What do you do when you do not understand a task?
I ask for an example and repeat the instructions back.
How do you learn a new system?
I watch a demo, take screenshots, and practice with test data.
Can you accept feedback from a manager?
Yes, I listen, ask one question, and try the advice the same day.
Tell me about a skill you had to learn quickly.
I had to learn a booking app before a busy weekend.
What area do you want more training in?
I want more training in advanced spreadsheets and data filters.
How do you stay patient while learning?
I break the lesson into small parts and celebrate small progress.
What do you do after receiving negative feedback?
I stay calm, thank the person, and make a simple action plan.
Have you ever missed a detail?
Yes, once I missed a date, so now I use calendar reminders.
How do you improve your English for work?
I study job vocabulary and practice short calls with a friend.
What is difficult for you in meetings?
Fast discussions are difficult, so I prepare notes before the meeting.
How do you fix a repeated error?
I create a checklist and place it next to my screen.
What do you do when training is hard?
I ask for extra practice time and review the guide at home.
Can you describe a lesson from a past mistake?
I learned to confirm delivery addresses before sending packages.
How do you ask for help professionally?
I explain what I tried and ask for a specific next step.
What personal habit are you improving?
I am improving my habit of checking messages at fixed times.
How do you react when a task changes suddenly?
I stop, read the new instructions, and update my task list.
What do you do if you are behind schedule?
I tell my supervisor early and focus on the most important task.
How do you measure your learning progress?
I compare my first attempt with my result after 1 week.
What kind of feedback helps you most?
Specific feedback with an example helps me improve faster.
How do you avoid making the same mistake again?
I add a warning note to my checklist and review it daily.
Can you learn from a younger coworker?
Yes, I can learn from anyone who knows the task well.
What did you do to improve after your last review?
I practiced faster data entry and checked my speed every Friday.
How do you stay open to new ideas?
I listen first, ask why it works, and test the idea once.
Teamwork. How do you support a busy team?
I take small tasks from others when the desk is full.
What role do you usually take in a group?
I usually organize the plan and make sure everyone knows the deadline.
How do you share information with coworkers?
I send a short message and attach the file they need.
Can you describe a team success?
Our team packed all holiday orders before the truck arrived.
How do you handle a disagreement with a coworker?
I speak privately, listen to the other view, and look for a fair answer.
What do you do when a teammate needs help?
I ask what is urgent and help for a few minutes.
How do you welcome a new team member?
I show the coffee area, the printer, and the shared calendar.
How do you make meetings useful?
I bring notes, stay on topic, and confirm who will do each task.
What do you do if someone is not doing their part?
I ask if there is a problem and offer practical help.
How do you keep a team informed?
I post updates on the board after each important change.
Can you work with people who have different styles?
Yes, I adjust my communication and focus on the shared goal.
How do you build trust with coworkers?
I keep promises, arrive on time, and share honest updates.
What do you do when the team is stressed?
I speak calmly and help divide the work into smaller pieces.
How do you give help without taking over?
I ask what they need and show one step, then let them continue.
How do you celebrate team results?
I thank people by name and mention the work they did.
What team tool have you used?
I have used a shared task board with cards and due dates.
How do you handle group decisions?
I compare the options and support the choice the group makes.
How do you react when a coworker gives you advice?
I listen carefully and try the advice if it improves the work.
Can you describe a time you shared credit?
After a good event, I told the manager that the whole team helped.
How do you manage shared responsibilities?
I write my part on the board and check it before I leave.
What do you do if two coworkers argue?
I do not take sides. I suggest a short talk with the supervisor.
How do you help quiet team members speak?
I ask for their opinion and give them time to answer.
How do you work with another department?
I send clear requests and include the order number and deadline.
What makes you a good teammate?
I listen, keep my area clean, and help before people have to ask.
How do you finish a team project?
I check the final list, save the files, and thank the group.
Problem solving. Tell me about a problem you solved at work.
A printer stopped working, so I restarted it and used another paper tray.
What do you do when a customer is angry?
I listen first, apologize for the issue, and offer the next possible step.
How do you find the cause of a mistake?
I check the last steps, the document, and the person who approved it.
What would you do if the internet stopped during work?
I would tell the team, use my offline tasks, and call support.
How do you decide which problem to solve first?
I choose the problem that affects customers or safety first.
Can you give an example of a quick solution?
When labels were missing, I printed temporary labels for the boxes.
How do you solve a problem you have never seen before?
I gather facts, ask an experienced person, and test a safe option.
What do you do if two tasks have the same deadline?
I compare their impact and ask my supervisor to confirm the priority.
How do you handle missing information?
I mark the empty fields and contact the person who sent the form.
What would you do if a delivery arrived late?
I would update the customer, note the new time, and check the order.
How do you prevent small problems from growing?
I report them early and write them in the daily log.
Have you ever improved a process?
Yes, I moved popular forms to the front of the folder.
What do you do when a tool breaks?
I label it as broken, stop using it, and tell maintenance.
How do you solve a scheduling conflict?
I check the calendar and suggest a time when both people are free.
What steps do you take before choosing a solution?
I check the facts, think about risk, and ask if rules allow it.
Can you stay calm during a work emergency?
Yes, I follow the emergency list and call the right contact.
What would you do if a customer received the wrong item?
I would check the receipt and arrange a replacement or refund.
How do you handle a confusing instruction?
I ask for clarification and show what I plan to do.
Tell me about a time you saved time at work.
I grouped similar emails and answered them in one focused hour.
How do you know a solution worked?
I check the result and ask the customer or team if the issue is fixed.
What do you do if a file is missing?
I search the shared drive, check email, and ask the owner.
How do you deal with a long line of customers?
I call another cashier and guide people to the open counter.
Can you solve problems with limited resources?
Yes, I reuse available materials and choose the simplest, safe option.
What would you do if you saw a safety problem?
I would block the area, warn people, and report it immediately.
How do you explain a problem to your manager?
I describe what happened, show the evidence, and suggest one solution.
Motivation and company fit. Why do you want to work for our company?
I like your clear service style and your focus on local customers.
What do you know about this company?
I know you have 3 branches and a new online ordering service.
Why did you apply for this position?
I applied because the role matches my service and office experience.
What interests you about this role?
I am interested in the mix of customer contact and organized paperwork.
How do your values match our workplace?
I value respect, clear communication, and helpful service.
What makes this job attractive to you?
The training plan and the chance to work with experienced staff attract me.
How can you add value here?
I can add value by keeping records accurate and customers informed.
What part of our job description stood out to you?
The part about handling appointments and greeting visitors stood out.
Why are you leaving your current job?
I want a role with more hours and more responsibility.
What kind of company culture do you prefer?
I prefer a culture where people help each other and speak honestly.
How does this role fit your career plans?
It fits because I want to grow in office coordination.
What product or service of ours do you like?
I like your same-day delivery service because it is useful for families.
Why should this company choose you?
You should choose me because I am practical and ready to learn your systems.
What would keep you motivated in this job?
Seeing satisfied customers and learning new tasks would keep me motivated.
What did you notice on our website?
I noticed clear prices, customer reviews, and a simple contact page.
How do you connect with our mission?
Your mission to make service simple connects with how I like to work.
What work environment helps you stay motivated?
A place with clear tasks, friendly people, and useful feedback motivates me.
What makes you excited about starting here?
I am excited to meet the team and learn the daily routine.
How would you represent our company to customers?
I would be polite, well-prepared, and clear about company rules.
What company value is most important to you?
Quality is most important to me because customers remember good work.
How did you prepare for this interview?
I read the job post, reviewed my experience, and prepared examples.
What do you hope to learn from us?
I hope to learn your customer process and your scheduling system.
Why is now a good time for you to join us?
Now I can commit to a full schedule and start quickly.
What does good service mean to you?
Good service means listening, giving correct information, and following up.
How would you grow with this company?
I would learn the role well and then help train new staff.
Availability and salary. When can you start work?
I can start work 2 weeks after I receive a written offer.
Are you available for morning shifts?
Yes, I can work mornings from Monday to Friday.
Can you work evenings if needed?
Yes, I can work 2 evenings a week with notice.
Are weekends possible for you?
Saturday is possible, but I prefer to keep Sunday free.
What salary range are you expecting?
I am expecting a fair range based on the role and local market.
Are you open to a part-time schedule?
I prefer full-time, but I can consider part-time with regular hours.
Can you work overtime during busy periods?
Yes, I can work overtime during stock counts or holiday rushes.
Do you have any planned vacation soon?
I have no planned vacation in the next 3 months.
How far do you live from the office?
I live 20 minutes away by bus.
Can you travel to different branches?
Yes, I can travel to nearby branches by train or bus.
Do you have the right to work here?
Yes, I have the documents needed to work here legally.
Are you available for a second interview next week?
Yes, Tuesday or Thursday afternoon works well for me.
What notice period do you need to give?
I need to give 2 weeks of notice to my current employer.
Can you be flexible with your schedule?
Yes, I can adjust my schedule if I know in advance.
Are you looking for temporary or permanent work?
I am looking for permanent work with clear responsibilities.
Would you accept training before your start date?
Yes, I can attend 1 training session before my start date.
What benefits are important to you?
Health insurance, paid holidays, and training opportunities are important.
Can you work during public holidays?
I can work some public holidays if the schedule is shared early.
Do you prefer a fixed schedule or rotating shifts?
I prefer a fixed schedule, but I can handle some rotation.
What is your ideal weekly schedule?
My ideal schedule is 5 weekdays with 1 early start.
Can you attend a background check appointment?
Yes, I can attend an appointment this Friday morning.
Are you open to a probation period?
Yes, a probation period is fine if the goals are clear.
Can you relocate for this job?
I cannot relocate now, but I can commute to the main office.
What hourly rate would you consider?
I would consider an hourly rate that matches my experience and duties.
Can you confirm your availability by email?
Yes, I can send my available dates by email today.
Remote work and tools. Have you worked remotely before?
Yes, I worked from home 2 days a week last year.
How do you stay focused at home?
I use a quiet desk, close extra tabs, and set short work blocks.
What tools do you use for video meetings?
I use Zoom, Teams, a headset, and a shared agenda.
How do you communicate with a remote team?
I send clear updates in chat and use email for longer details.
Can you manage your time without direct supervision?
Yes, I plan my day and send a progress note before lunch.
What do you do if your microphone fails?
I switch to my phone, write in the chat, and check the settings.
How do you protect company information at home?
I lock my screen, use strong passwords, and avoid public Wi-Fi.
Have you used shared online documents?
Yes, I edit shared documents and leave comments for the team.
How do you show you are online and available?
I update my status and answer urgent messages quickly.
What is your home office like?
My home office has a desk, good light, and a stable internet connection.
Can you use project management software?
Yes, I can update cards, add deadlines, and upload files.
How do you avoid distractions during remote work?
I silence my phone and use headphones during focused tasks.
What do you do before an online meeting starts?
I test my camera, open the agenda, and join 2 minutes early.
How do you report your remote progress?
I send a daily summary with completed tasks and blockers.
Can you learn new digital tools?
Yes, I follow tutorials and practice with sample projects.
How do you handle time zones?
I check the meeting time twice and add it to my calendar.
What do you do if a remote task is unclear?
I ask in chat and request a short call if needed.
Have you handled customer emails from home?
Yes, I answered customer emails using templates and personal notes.
How do you keep files safe in the cloud?
I use the company folders and do not download files to personal devices.
What chat habits help you work remotely?
I use short messages, clear questions, and helpful subject lines.
Can you work in a hybrid schedule?
Yes, I can work 3 days in the office and 2 days at home.
How do you separate work time from personal time?
I shut down my laptop and clear my desk at the end of the day.
What do you do if a video call is delayed?
I message the group, continue another task, and check back soon.
How do you ask for remote support?
I send a screenshot, describe the error, and include the time.
What makes you successful in remote work?
Clear updates, self-discipline, and a clean digital workspace help me succeed.
Closing questions and next steps. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. What does a successful first month look like in this role?
What would you like to know about the team?
I would like to know how many people are on the daily team.
Do you want to ask about training?
Yes. How long is the training period for new employees?
Is there anything you want to add?
I want to add that I am excited about the role and ready to learn.
Do you need more information about the schedule?
Yes. Could you explain the normal start and finish times?
Would you like to ask about the manager?
Yes. How does the manager usually give feedback to the team?
What question do you have about daily tasks?
Which task is usually the first priority in the morning?
Do you want to know about the next step?
Yes. What is the next step after today's interview?
Can you confirm your contact details?
Yes. My phone number and email on the resume are correct.
Do you have any final question about the company?
Yes. What are the main goals for the company this year?
Would you like to ask about performance reviews?
Yes. How often do employees have performance reviews here?
What would you ask about the workplace?
I would ask where the team usually meets at the start of the day.
Do you want to ask about tools or systems?
Yes. Which software does the team use every day?
How would you close this interview?
I would thank you for your time and say I look forward to your reply.
Do you need clarification on any part of the role?
Yes. Could you clarify how much customer contact the role includes?
What question do you have about success in this role?
What results would you like to see in the first 90 days?
Would you like to ask about team communication?
Yes. Does the team use short daily meetings or written updates?
What do you want us to know before we finish?
I want you to know I can start learning the process quickly.
Do you have a question about the first week?
Yes. What will the first week of training include?
Can you send references if we request them?
Yes. I can send 2 professional references by email.
What would you ask about growth opportunities?
I would ask what skills can help me move to a senior role.
Do you have a question about the hiring timeline?
Yes. When do you expect to make the final decision?
What would you like to ask about company roles?
I would like to ask how breaks and lunch times are arranged.
Can you confirm your interest in the job?
Yes, I am very interested, and I believe my experience fits the role.
How should we contact you after the interview?
Please contact me by email first, and I will reply the same day.